Hey riders, Vasya here, welcome to my channel VasyaAtlas. A week ago I joined the folks from Background Motorcycle Adventure for their intro to adventure training. This wasn't sponsorship, I paid the full price. So I really enjoy the events and I hope to join them for an adventure rides in the future. But before that I need to buy a new off-road tires or maybe a new motorcycle. I have some plans. Will be a series of videos. I think it will be 4 or 5 parts. So in this current video we will learn the bike setup, how to keep your hands on a steering bar and body position on the motorcycle. But before jumping into the video, here are a few points based on my experience. Use proper gear. I arrived in a training in my regular riding shoes. This is what I'm wearing right now. So, in these motorcycle riding shoes. And I had off-road boots with me. So I had these boots. But they were brand new and not broken in. So I stuck in my regular riding shoes. For this class, it is okay, but my feet hurt because the soil is a little bit soft. And when you stay the whole day on a pegs, it's really hurt. I'm glad that I didn't remove the rubber pads from the pegs, and it was a bit better for me. Motorcycle setup. Adjust steering bar for the standing position. For me, the steering bar is in a good shape, so basically it's comfortable for the standing and for the sitting position, for the both. But a little bit, I have to adjust lever, make it a little bit up. Right now it's a little bit down for the sitting position. Just a little bit up. It's just unscrew 4 hexagons, and you will have a markers over here. Let me try to focus on it. Yes, we have a markers. You can make a points wherever you want, and make adjustment to make sure you will put in the same place when you just going back to the seat on a freeway, on a sitting position. Next, it is a foot pegs and the gear switch lever. Phillips screwdriver. So 1. And 2. So now we can remove it. Little plate. If you like, you can scroll back. It's like defending from the fan. So now you can adjust the gear lever. So what do you need for that? You need number 10. Loose this nut. And from that side, the second one, do the same. Both they are rotating in the same place. So now you can spin this rod and it will lift up or down. So for example, if I go on this side, you see it's going down. If I go on this side, it's going up. So we can get the riding boots. So you see, we have to lift it up. So let's do, I don't know, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you can lift up and lift down. Lift up, lift down. So it's more easy. So for the brakes, they have this kind of similar situation. It's bolt over here. You just lose it, and after that you see this small rod. You can just rotate, and the brake pedal is going up and down. One thing you need to disable ABS. Do not disable on a road, on a regular road, but for the off-road, it's preferable disable to make your control for the motorcycle more handles, particularly when you're going downhill. So in my case it's a fuse. So in my case, this is a fuse here. Come on, open it. Yes. In my case, this is 15 ampere fuse. So if you're looking here, let me try to zoom it. Focus. Yes, 15A ABS. Just take a knife or something, just pull it out. Now enjoy the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment if you have any questions.
All right, cool. So we'll spend a quick minute on bike setup. So a couple of the key differences from street to dirt is your bar position. So you'll notice that a lot of these, if they're set up for street, the bars are kind of rolled back. It really kind of supports the street riding position or the sitting position. But we'll find, like Carl was saying, I mean, we want to stand up, you know, a lot when you're riding, right? And what having the bars back, rolled back does is it kind of forces you to sit back, won't let you stand all the way up, or put more weight transfer over the back. You're not able to maintain a neutral balance on the bike, and you're also not as able to, like when you need to, like when you're accelerating or going up a hill where you need to go forward, you're not able to do that. And so we'll take a look at that. Some of the other things that might be a little more thought about but are kind of obvious on this bike are things like hand guards. You know, most of us, even I, have plastic hand guards, but these will definitely help you if you tip over, which you're definitely, you know, the more you ride off-road, the chances of tipping over are greater. You know, we usually switch our mirrors out as well. Sometimes it's not breakable, right? You know, these will move easy and they won't shatter. We actually had somebody with street mirrors on one of the things. Just a simple little drill, tipped over, but the mirror broke, you know, because they're designed to be on the street, not on the road. And then the other key, and I see it on yours, is the peg, right? And so you have the rubber in your peg. Most of those you can take them out. If you're going to be riding on the dirt a lot, you just pull that out, and that's a huge upgrade all by itself, right? Because if you get mud, or you get water, anything, and you're trying to stand, it's slippery, right? So you'll have a much more stable platform to stand on. And then the other, I think, key piece that's different, and you have something to resolve that, which is brake lever position. So when you're standing up more, find out, like when you stand up right now, and you get down, you find you have to tip forward a lot. And if you fold that down, it's effectively bringing the brake lever up. So when you're standing, it's just using your toe. So
that's sweet.
I helped Carl move his up before already, so you know, for standing. So those are some of the primary differences in bike setup. Also,
that's perfect right there.
Yeah, see, that's perfect.
Usually with your foot brake peg, Rob's an exception because he's got a bad ankle, so he keeps his down. But for more in the off-road, if your foot peg's here, you want your lever about equal. Kind of like this is a little bit higher. That's how I have mine. So if you're standing up, you're barely touching it, it locks up. If it's down in street mode, your ankle's going down, so you're losing your body position because your body's going forward because you're searching for the brake. So here's another thing. If we're out here today, we'll all drop our bikes. At some point, we're going to drop our bikes. Hopefully not today. I drop mine all the time, but nobody picks their bike up alone. There's too many of us. We help you pick your bike up, so no one gets hurt picking their bike up.
You know, put your legs out, and just stand normal. and then do a squat. Right?
So reach down. So no, reach down like this. So if you're standing here just talking to me normally, reach down and touch something like that.
Yeah.
So what you want to see is you see my knees. My knees are like I go like this. My knees are out. So turn your feet parallel in like this, and do it again. What's your knees doing? They're hugging the tank. They're going towards the tank automatically. You step out, you step down, they go out. Parallel, squat down, they're straight. Like that. So it's, yeah, so if you get your feet straight, put your feet in.
Yeah, there you go.
Now go down and touch.
Now go down.
So now you see how your knees are straight? That's automatically hugging the tank right there. That's your grip. Your main grip on a bike is in your knees.
It'll keep you connected to the bike.
So another body positioning too is like everyone's done a deadlift before. So if you're sitting there and you've done a deadlift at some point, you reach down, you grab it, you come up halfway, you're squatting, you raise your arms up. That's like a normal attack position on the motorcycle. If you do that, then we're going to transfer that to the bike also. So if I get on the bike, right here, and I keep my feet, I keep the balls on my feet, thank you. I keep the balls on my feet on the pegs like this. And then if I turn my legs out like this, like I was like a duck, I sit down, I got all this space in here. All that space is, if I turn my legs in, now they're automatically, my knees are automatically gripping the tank, and I'm not even trying. So they're in the right position, so look, the bike moves. If I go like this, then the bike's wobbling around on me. If I turn my legs in, steady. Keep fogging these up.
All that hot air.
So basically that's your stance on the bike. So maybe get on your bike and try it. You got a center stand?
Yeah.
Let's try the center stand. Put your feet out like a duck, like you normally would. The first time we squatted, our feet were out.
Put your feet out.
You put your feet out like that, like you see now your knees aren't really touching. If you turn your legs in, your knees are automatically on the tank on the seat. And you can move the bike around like this. You can feel the bike. You're connected to it. I like to ride like so. A lot of times the professionals will tell you you always want to be on your balls of your feet or the tip of your feet. It's not always the case. I like to ride halfway because I like to be able to shift and switch. And once you get to riding and you get proficient, then yeah, it's easy to move your feet back and forth. But before beginners off-road, you always want to be close to your braking controls because when you're riding dirt, things come up really fast. And automatically, if you don't even think about it, you just start shifting your feet, hitting the brakes, hitting the levers, grabbing brakes. So if you're sitting on your bike, most people grab their handlebars and they go straight on like this, right? So my elbows are in. If my elbows are in, push me in the back. I go forward. So what you always want to do, you want to put your elbows out, hands are free, elbows are out, push me. I don't move. Your body's firm against the bike. And then that's good for, if you ought to have to brake real quick, you're already set up. But if you go like this, push me in. I go forward. Go out, push in. Try that.
And what that looks like on your hands.
So what you want to do with your hands, you want to create a V. You want to put the pressure on the palm of your hand on this like this, and it automatically throws your legs out, arms out. And then riding off-road, even when you're sitting down, yeah, you can be on the street. You want to keep your back straight, your hands out, elbows out all the time. They don't have to be out, but if you don't think about your elbows, if you take your hands in a V, you look down, you see a little V in your hand, they automatically go.
Yeah, you don't have to think about it. You'll hear a lot of everybody always says ride with your elbows out, but regardless if even if he put his elbows out and he doesn't have the V, he still doesn't have that.
Still good though,
right? It's still better, right? But the V gives you that. It's just a natural thing. You don't even have to think about it. Next thing is kind of your levers, right? So you'll notice, as part of bike setup, you'll notice as you roll your bars forward that the levers will go down. You don't want the levers too far down or straight out. You want it to kind of look, if you see, it's just a straight extension from his natural position as his hands are coming down on it.
So when you're gripping the hand guards, you see my knuckles are straight. They're not like this. They're not like that. They're straight on. So if I'm going from any position, my arms are right, my hands don't move. They stay in position. I can go from seated to standing, my hands don't move. But if I'm here, then you got to move your hands. Also, another thing too is if you got your hands straight on the bar like this, normally, and you twist the throttle, your arm goes down, automatic. If you have your elbow out, you're turning, your elbow stays in position.
So another thing on body position is covering your levers, right? So a lot of folks on the street, you might use, 2, 3, even 4 fingers, over your levers. Riding on the dirt, I know a lot of you have like ABS and things like that, but riding on the dirt, one, you don't want ABS and things like those on that, things like that on, because that inhibits your control. It's the bike making a decision for something that may not be appropriate in the dirt, right? So you usually want to have an off-road mode will automatically turn things like that off, or if you don't have an off-road mode, you might want to turn those things off. But in doing so, if you apply lever control like you would on the street, you can find yourself in trouble, like Carl was talking about, going down the hill, too much front brake, locks up, go down. So we like to encourage people to always, the way we ride, we always cover the levers whenever we're riding with one finger, right? On the brake side, on the front brake side, never use more than one finger, right? So you can really not get in too much trouble, right, by just modulating the brake with one finger, and it's usually enough in the dirt. 2, all of a sudden, like you see something, grab real quick, that's too much pressure. You're gonna lock up the front wheel. Functionally on the clutch, maybe you might, it's easier to use 2 fingers, and so you might use 2 fingers, like as a general rule when you're using it. But when you're riding, just always cover it. You know what I mean? Because we're going to teach you some clutch control drills here, and once you see those clutch control drills, when you actually start putting those into practice, you'll understand having a finger on the clutch all the time.
I always have 2 on my clutch, always. So it's just easier.
Yeah.
One, I just ride like 1 naturally, but 2 is right there to grab it.
Yeah.
When I go to clutch, I'm always using 2 fingers. And then 2 with the finger on the clutch all the time keeps my hands and elbows out in the right position. So 2, if you're just riding normal like this, and you're coming up and you're just kind of your elbows are down, you hit a rock, keep my front wheel slight. It moves a lot. So you hit that rock, you're going down. If my elbows are out and I'm in the right position, I got control of the bike. But if you're loose and your elbows are down, you hit that rock or a rut or a pothole, you're going down.
So now, if you look at Joe, he's transitioned up to standing. His toes are in, knees are against the bike. He has the neutral position, so he's literally riding right over the balance point of the motorcycle. If he were to take his hands, like if you see him riding around the park, he'll take his hands off. The bike's not going anywhere. It's just going to keep on going.
With my knees and my feet. Feet are your first point of contact. Your knees are really what stabilizes your body on the bike.
And so you're keeping those in, and then you want to talk to them about like the weighting of the feet.
So a lot of times, like even when you're out riding the street, here's a little tip that will help you a big time. If you're riding the street, the simple fact is my feet are right here on the balls. If I drop my ankle, if I'm standing here and I drop my ankle, this knee goes back, this knee automatically moves forward, and it puts my body in the right position to make that. So when you do that, your bike's automatically going to start turning. So if I turn this way, my body goes that way, the bike will start turning. If I do that, drop this ankle, it'll start turning. If I drop this ankle, it'll start turning. And your body automatically just goes in that position.
And we're going to use this, we're going to put this into practice here when we're going through those cones on the slalom, right? So you're going to want to keep your head, in everything that we do, every single one of these that we go through, you want to be looking forward. You don't want to be looking down. Don't want to be looking at your front wheel. Don't look at where you are. Look at where you're going. Right?
Always eyes up. So like if I'm going to go through this rut right here, I'm going to look at those boards up there. As soon as I see this, I've already scanned that in my mind. I know what's there. I know that rock's there. miss it, I'm looking forward. If you focus on it, you're going to hit it every time. Target fixation, boom, you'll hit it.
So, and what Joe was saying about dropping your heels and transferring your balance, we're going to use that when we go through there. So when we get ready to go through and we demonstrate that, you know, we're not going to be looking for you to turn the bike through like this. We're going to be looking for you to shift the weight, and then that's going to cause it to turn, right, as you go through. So that's why body positioning is so important, and standing up, because it actually, the bike becomes an extension of you, right? So your body is telling it what to do rather than you like steering it through something.
So if you're standing like normal, your knees are not attached and riding down the road, and you hit a pothole, then all of a sudden you go back, you get whiskey throttle. You know, and the bike's lunging. If that ever happens, the first thing you do is you grab the clutch. Because the clutch is your control. The clutch is your power. Everybody thinks it's the throttle. Throttle's the engine speed. This is your power right here. This will stop you from anything. So if your bike's moving and you get whiskey throttle, whoa, you get out of control, you grab that clutch and stops the back wheel from moving. It just coasting.
So let's have you guys all like practice, you know, getting in the proper position while you're sitting, and then transitioning to standing.
And you always want to, when you're sitting down, you always want to be close to the tank. You don't want to be sitting back here. You don't want your arms pulled up. You want to be here with your arms out. So when you do go to brake hard, you're going to lean back. Your arms are straight. That push-up load, you can't go forward at all.